Hi everyone, so today I want to show you how I made this card. Now I've seen something similar in a magazine, but I didn't really properly look at the instructions. I just kind of looked at the picture and thought, oh, I think I know how to make this. And so I just set about making it how I thought it was made. But I've also seen several other videos on YouTube with something similar, but again I haven't actually had time to properly look at them and see how they've made them. So this is my version based off what I think it's supposed to be. So whether it is the same or not, I don't know, but anyway, I'm going to call it this is my 6x6 version. I've also done a 5x7 portrait and a 5x7 landscape version. So this is my 6x6 floating gap card, that's what I'm calling it. So it's quite easy. It folds flat in the post like that, just fold those in. And I would just write inside here. This would be my righty bit. Yeah, so that's that one. So I'm going to show you how I made this one, and then I will take you through the measurements and the score folds, the score measurements for the other two 5x7 versions as well. So I'll show you those at the end, but we're going to do the 6x6 first and then we'll move on to the other two. Okay, so for this card you're going to need a few bits, not too much. Obviously this one that I made here, I used the Dovecraft Premium Winter Wonderland papers and the decoupage for that. So that was quite good. I really enjoyed that, and also because you've got your toppers already. The only thing I would say is whatever you use as a topper, it needs to be a sturdy topper. I had to add a little bit extra onto my topper just to make it sturdy enough, and actually I probably could have added some more onto it. So for this card I'm making with you now, I'm going to be using the Butterfly Kisses paper pad, which Dovecraft brought out earlier. I think it was 2018. No, not sure. I think it was this year, 2021. I think, but I can't remember. But yeah, anyway, beautiful papers and really nice toppers. So we're going to be using that. So you're going to need to start off with 2 pieces of base card that are 4 inches by 6 inches. And if you bring your scoreboard in, you're going to put them both onto your, well, one by one, onto your scoreboard, and along the 4-inch edge, you're going to score halfway at 2 inches. So you're going to do that on both of your pieces of card. Okay, so then once you've done that, you're just going to fold down those score lines and burnish. And that will give you 2 L-shape pieces of card. Okay, so on the front of these, so you're going to have them like 2 mounting folds. On the front of these panels, so you've got 4 panels in total, you need to choose what you're going to have as a matte panel. And you need 4 matte panels that are 1 3/4 by 5 3/4. Okay, so then we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick those down onto there. And on top of that, you need to stick 4 pattern panels. And these are 1 1/2 by 5 1/2. And these just go on top like that. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now and stick all of that down. Okay, so I'm stuck all my bits of paper down. So now you want to choose yourself a topper. So I've chosen this Happy Birthday one. It's nice and solid. Now this is a little bit on the flimsy side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get another piece of card and I'm just going to stick it on the back and just cut round just to make it a little bit stronger. You do need it a bit strong. So this one here, this is quite flimsy because obviously these are meant to go on the front. They're not meant to be, you know, mega sturdy. This has been made a little bit more sturdy by the fact that it's got winter wishes on the front, but it's still not as sturdy as I'd like it to be. So I'm going to go ahead, as I said, and stick this onto a piece of card and then just cut round it. Okay, so you probably saw me drawing around the heart first and then cutting out. I just didn't trust myself sticking it on, then cutting it out. I didn't want to be cutting the topper. So yeah, so I've just done that way around instead. So I've stuck that on now, so that's great. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to stick it onto the front. Now, one thing I've decided is useful, one thing I found useful, is if you've got a MISTI or similar, this will come in handy for this next bit. So I'm going to take my MISTI and I'm going to put my this corner piece in. You have to excuse me if I'm fumbling for words. I've had 5.5 hours sleep and I'm very tired. So yeah, take one of your L shapes. The fold edge needs to be on the left. This is my left hand piece. So we're going to put that on like that, and I'm just going to put a magnet to weight it down. Then I'm going to take the other one, fold it the opposite way, so the fold's on the right because it's the right hand. And where it says 6 inches, I'm just going to marry it up to just slightly within the 6 inches. And I'm going to put another magnet on the top. Then I'm going to take my topper and I'm going to lay it over the top like that. So then I can see how much I need to and where I need to be sticking my glue or my tape or whatever. If you want to, you can stick it flat straight onto your card. But I quite like it just slightly raised up. So I'm going to turn this over because it's a symmetrical shape. I can do that. So I'm turning it over like that. And then what I'm going to do, I'm actually using, because I've got a dip in the bottom, obviously where my heart is, I can use my 3-inch line to marry up so I know where halfway is. And I'm going to raise it up just slightly, so that's about right there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and put some pads onto the side of my heart, on either side. So where you're, if you want to, you can actually draw like a little, line. So obviously that's where it comes in there and there. So literally all the way across here. So that's where I need to put pads. Same on this side, here, and there. Just so you've got a bit of a guide. Don't know if you can see my pencil lines. And then we're going to go ahead and add pads on. So I'll put one there. And one up here. And same on this side. And you really want to get as much of this covered as you can. Now I've got a bit here that's not covered, so I might end up trimming a pad down to fit, because I would like that to be covered really. Okay, so anything that kind of pops off the edge of your shape, just going to trim off. Okay, so there we have our die cut shape, or topper, or whatever you want to call it, and I've put the pads on either side. So I'm just going to take off the backing and then stick them down. Okay, so lining up carefully, make sure it's straight, stick it down like that, take your magnets off, and then hopefully, yep, and they've got no glue showing on the other side, so that's good. So there you have your card. So it's quite nice and easy to do. Depending on how high you put your pads, so how thick your pads are, will mean whether you can get it in the post or not. That's quite flat, so at the moment I could happily get that in the post without any problems really. But yeah, so that's the 6x6 version. So there's those two. I might add a couple of butterflies or a bit of something on them. But it's just really nice, a bit different, but just really nice. You can use them for Christmas, birthdays, anything really. I tell you what would be quite nice as well, if you had like say it was like a 60th birthday, 21st birthday, like one of the big age birthdays, then numbers on the front, 2 big numbers on the front would be good. So that's the 6x6 version. So I also did a 5x7. So I'm going to show you the landscape one first. So this is the landscape one. So I did it with a bauble on it, and I did a bauble die cut, and because that bauble die cut is quite intricate, I've just backed it with vellum. And if you wanted to, you could, when it stood up, you could actually put like a tea light behind if you wanted to. These papers are the Arctic Wonder. I think it's Arctic Wonder. I always get Arctic Christmas and Arctic Wonder muddled up. Yeah, these are from the Arctic Wonder pad that I showed in my haul. Linked to in the description to all the products that I'm saying about now. So for this one, and this one stands up nicely, so for this one you need 2 pieces of base cards, so these 2 cards, and they measure 4 inches by 5 inches, and again you score at 2 inches. Okay, so that's your measurement of your base card for that. Then your mat panels measure 1 3/4 by 4 3/4, and again you need 4 of them. And your pattern panels measure 1 1/2 by 4 1/2, and again you need 4 of them. Okay, and then your topper just needs to be slightly bigger, because the gap that I've got here, because again if you line it up in your stamping platform or whatever, however you're going to do it, and you just need to make sure that is no bigger than 7 inches wide. So it means your gap is going to be about 3 inches. Okay, whereas on the 6x6 one your gap is 2 inches. So that's just the difference there. So that's the measurements for the 5x7 landscape. So the 5x7 portrait, which I really like, but I do need to alter some of the measurements. So this is the 5x7 portrait. Now it's a little bit too thin here. I think it needs to go back further, because this, if you're not careful, it can tip forward. I mean, it's not been too bad at the moment. Depends how heavy your topper is. The papers that I used for this particular card was the Bloom and Wonder first edition pad that Trimcraft brought out. I can't remember what it was. It was either 2020 or 2021. Not sure, but they're very nice. I think they're still available on their website. But as I say, link in the descriptions below. So the measurements for this. Now I'm going to give you the measurements with this amended. Okay, I'll give you both the measurements. So I'll give you the measurements that I use for this, and then I'll give you measurements for what I think you really need to go for. Because I think this needs to be a bit wider. I love the fact it's sort of skinny. I think this is my favourite one out of the 2 5x7s, but it's a little bit hit and miss whether it's going to stand up. It does stand up, but it does have a tendency to fall over. So this one you're going to need, if you want to do it how I've done it here, then you need 2 pieces that are 3 inches by 7 inches. Okay, so if you want to do it how I've done it, you want 3 inches by 7 inches, and you score at 1 1/2. Okay, and then that means that your mat panels are 1 1/4 by 6 3/4. Your mat panels, that is, and your pattern panels are 1 inch by 6 1/2 inches. If you want to do it slightly bigger, which is the way I think I'm going to do, when I make them again, I think I'm going to do it slightly bigger, then you want to do them, I reckon you probably need to do them so that your side panels are 4 inches by 7 inches, and then just score at 1 1/2, which will then leave you with that little bit extra on the side. And so then that means your mat panels need to be slightly different. So you need 2, if you're doing it that way, you need 2 mat panels that are 1 1/4 by 6 3/4, and 2 pattern panels that are 1 inch by 6 1/2. And then you need 2 mat panels for the outsides that are 2 1/4 inches wide by 6 3/4, and your patterns are 2 inch by 6 1/2, and that's for the pattern panels. Okay, and then your gap in the middle should measure at 2 inches, which is why I've managed to use a slightly skinnier topper. But yeah, so that's the 3 different cards. So I hope you like them. I quite like the different sizes. I think that they could be useful for different things, if I'm honest. I like this because it's more elegant. This is a bit more chunky, but I still quite like it. And then obviously you've got the 6x6 square version as well. So obviously, as far as envelopes go, these 2 at the top fit into an envelope for a 6x6 card, and both of these bottom ones will fit into an envelope for a 5x7 card. So yeah, so there you have it. So I hope you liked the cards that we did today. Please like and subscribe, hit the notification bell, and we'll see you next time. Bye.